The first time I came to Cuba, it was actually, to be honest, to dance salsa, because I learned to dance salsa quite a few years ago in Berlin, and my teacher was Cuban. And very quickly I realized this is something that I love to do, and it was something that I was quite okay at. And he didn't speak a word of English, but he kept saying, mira, mira, look at me, look at me. So I looked at him and tried to imitate what he did. And I could never dance before. Musicians are terrible dancers. We all have rhythm in us, but most musicians are pretty terrible dancers. But for some reason, the salsa music just got right into my soul, and my body moved with this music. So I was teaching in Miami, and it's only a 40-minute plane ride from Miami to Havana. It takes 3 hours to check in, and then more hours when you get here for the immigration, but it's very, very close. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go over. I got in touch with an organization who do a lot for the classical music scene here, the Balthasar Neumann Stiftung, and I said, listen, can I do anything? Are there even horn players in Havana? I didn't know if there were horn players here. I said, is there anything I can do while I'm here? Listen to an orchestra, do some coaching? I would be more than happy. So they organized a masterclass here, and I came not knowing what to expect. I turned up at this masterclass, and the whole room was completely full of people. And I said, do all these people play horn? Yes, they'd come from all over Cuba. And it was the most incredible day. I'll never forget it. I was so touched by these musicians because I couldn't speak Spanish. They spoke very little English, but they were like sponges. All I had to do was play a phrase and they would play it immediately back. There was no need for technical talk, for explaining, yeah, you put your lip here and your tooth here, and then it was so a wonderfully musical day. So that's where my love of Cuba began, with salsa, but then meeting all the horn players here. I have a great place to stay when I'm in Havana, in this beautiful apartment, but it is loud. There is no peace on the streets anywhere in Havana. That's why we have to do the recording sessions at night. We start at 10 o'clock at night, and we finish at 2 o'clock in the morning, because it's the only time where it's a little bit quieter. It's great to practice in this apartment. I practice sometimes up on the roof, but there's a bar downstairs that in the evenings it plays very loud reggaeton music. Reggaeton is the modern day Cuban music. It has a very simple beat. The Cubans say it's a shame because they're worried that their old salsa and son traditions will disappear. Reggaeton is very simple. It basically goes jum, ka-jum, jum, 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 jum. And I was practicing Mozart up here the other day, and I realized the reggaeton was exactly the same beat. So I was using it as my metronome. It gave me a completely different feeling for the music. So there are advantages of practicing here in Havana, but there are also disadvantages. It's very loud. The city is loud, it's fast, it's hot, it's dirty. But there's this love of life here that I just find very inspiring. The Cubans know who Mozart is. There's a statue of Mozart down in Havana Vieja, in the old town. Mozart in his day was well known for his operas, mainly. I mean, now we know all his music, but in those days, a new Mozart opera was the thing, and everybody had to see it. The problem was, a lot of people couldn't afford to go to the opera. As soon as a new opera came out, arrangers would rush to arrange the highlights of the opera for a harmonie musique ensemble, which was a wind ensemble with double bass. And this was like the YouTube of the day, because it was for people that couldn't afford to go to the operas, but they could go outside and listen to this music. It was played everywhere. And that was how Mozart's operas actually became most popular, not by the people that went to the opera, but the people who heard the harmony music. And what we thought we would do here for the CD is turn a couple of his very famous pieces into the music of today, into the music of Cuba. And of course it's dangerous, you don't want to get too cheesy with these things, but I was very lucky because I have amazing arrangers doing the pieces for the CD. And all of the pieces on the CD are so fabulously done that we really get the music of Mozart with the Cuban music of today in various styles. With the mambo, and there's 3 different sorts of mambos, and we have 2 songs everybody knows, Dos Gardenias para ti and El Manicero, the peanut vendor. Those are true Cuban they're like classical music here. And we're lucky to have these arrangers, because they did with Mozart's music now for the CD what the arrangers would have done with his harmony music in those days.